Welcome to this edition of Backstage Pass with Lia Chang. Tonight I'm at the opening night of David Henry Hwang's Yellowface. Directed by Silverman, Yellowface opened on October 1st, 2024 at the Roundabout Theater Company's Todd Haimes Theater to rave reviews and is a New York Times Critic's Pick. The cast includes Daniel Day Kim, Ryan Eggold, Francis Ju, Kevin Del Aguila, Marinda Anderson, Greg Keller, and Shannon with Understudies Paul Juhn, Olivia Oguma, David Ryan Smith, and Zach Shaffer. How does it feel to be back on Broadway?
Well, this is, my ninth Broadway show, and there are some ways in which Broadway has changed, but there are other ways in which it still feels like, wow, you're on the biggest stage in America and arguably the world.
What does it mean for you to be an Asian American creator in this time?
I think what's really new about this particular experience with Yellowface is being an Asian American creator who's producing an Asian American show on Broadway. This is my ninth Broadway show, and with the exception of Flower Drum Song, which is of course a Rogers and Hammerstein property, none of them were about Asians in America. They were all about Asians someplace else. So now that Asian American stories can be mainstream enough in movies and on television and now on Broadway, that really is a satisfying step forward. It's a comedy about an Asian American playwright who protests the casting of Jonathan Pryce as a yellow-faced role in the original production of Miss Saigon, then accidentally casts a white actor as the Asian lead in his own play, and then tries to cover it up.
Well, happy opening, David, and I'm so glad to be here to celebrate this with you.
Thank you, and thank you for all your support over the whole length of my career.
Well, you're welcome, but you're responsible for that.
Well, thank you.
For being so generous.
Hi, I'm Caitlin. Good to see you.
Seeing you.
How are you doing? I'm doing well.
Tony Award-winning playwright David Henry Hwang.
Somewhere out there, our star is waiting for us to find him.
We are looking to cast this role with an Asian.
As you should.
Does he look Asian to you?
I have to cast this in a way that feels right to me. And I can tell an Asian when I see one.
You're Asian, right?
Well, my ancestry is really mixed up. Marcus is mixed race Asian.
Can you imagine if this got into the papers?
You know, it wouldn't be just me who'd get into trouble. It'd be you, too. Good point. Yellowface. In this day and age, Asian parts must only ever be played by Asian actors. I didn't go through those protests and hunger strikes just so some white imposter could help himself to our hard-won opportunities.
But didn't you cast him?
I don't want to talk about it. You have to fight the power.
What power is it?
To put it bluntly, white America. Why do you do all this?
Because it feels good to be part of something bigger than myself.
You really want to help the community?
Yes, but
Then take off your mask. I'm willing to go out there and lose my face. How about you?
Coming to the opening night of our show. I know you've been sitting a while and we haven't had an intermission, so I will indulge your patience for just a few minutes longer because on a special night like tonight, we would be remiss if we didn't introduce very important people to this production, behind the scenes and on stage. So I hope you wouldn't mind welcoming me in joining the full company of Yellowface on the stage right now. Yellowface, the people who make our show run. And finally, I couldn't let this occasion go by without introducing to you our incredible playwright and director. Please welcome David Henry Hwang and Leigh Silverman. And say thank you so much, and we'll see you soon.
History in that I was with y'all when you were doing this in 2007. What does it feel like to have it here now, but to have two shows on Broadway?
Well, I feel enormously lucky for both. Not only to have two shows, but to have two shows that I care so much about, that I spent so many years developing. I think it's really the story of a new work director to have, a show that I developed for 10 years that's running, and then to have this show, which I worked on 15 years ago. So it feels an enormously exciting time, and Yellowface in particular was the first play that David and I met on.
I know.
And so, we've worked on so many shows now together, and so to be able to circle back and we still like each other and want to work together, it's like great.
He says, my director, Leigh Silverman.
I love it.
My frequent collaborator,
yes,
Leigh Silverman.
I love it. He can claim me.
Well, congratulations.
Thank
now,
you.
If you were just going to describe Yellowface to someone, what would you say?
I'd say you just have to see it. It's got everything. It's funny, it's political, it's delightful, it stars Daniel Day Kim, and usually that's when people are like, sign me up.
Well, happy opening to you.
Thank you.
Hi, Daniel. Welcome back to Broadway.
Thank you.
What does it feel like for you to be part of, leading Yellowface?
It's really special to be working on a play by David, working with Leigh Silverman, and assembling a cast that we have. It's, there are very few circumstances where I can say it's everything that I'd hoped for, but this is one of those circumstances.
That's fabulous. What does it mean for you to be an Asian American creator in this time?
Wow, it's a big question. It's a great time to be an Asian American creator. I'm the beneficiary of a lot of people who have worked hard, and we're able to tell stories about our community, and to do it on Broadway, and one of the biggest stages literally of in the world is a fantastic opportunity, and one that I don't take for granted.
I'm Francis Juhn.
And who do you play in Yellowface?
I play David's father, among other people, in Yellowface.
And what does it mean for you to return to the production?
Oh my God. I knew back in 2007 that this show deserved a wider audience, and I am so grateful that the world has finally caught up to what David Henry Hwang was writing even 17 years ago, because it feels like it's ripped from the headlines right now.
And what does it mean for you to be an Asian American theater maker in this time?
Hearing audiences cheer for Daniel Day Kim when he first walks onto stage is something that I never thought I would ever see. So I'm really, really grateful.
I'm Lia.
Hi, Lia.
Nice to meet
Ronnie,
you.
nice to meet you too.
Okay.
Hello.
Number one, what does it feel like to be making your Broadway debut in Yellowface?
Oh man, I'm just really grateful, really honored to be making it in a David Henry Hwang play with my good friend Daniel Day Kim, who's a genius, and this cast is just absolutely amazing. And Leigh, our director, it's just been an incredible experience, top to bottom. I would say that it's an autobiographical comedy about sort of race as it pertains to casting, particularly, and also identity. And it's also about a metaphor for sort of the masks we wear, and who we really are versus who we sort of project ourselves to be, and what that all means. And it really just examines sort of these, I don't know, supposed differences between us and whether they are or aren't. And it just gets into this really great place, and it does it with humor, which I think is lovely.
And who is Marcus?
That's a great question. I can't say all of who Marcus is because you have to watch the play for that. But Marcus is, when we meet him, an actor at the Marin County Playhouse in California. That Daniel Day Kim's character, DHH, based on our intrepid playwright, discovers, puts in a play, and casts as an Asian, in an Asian American role. And then they're sort of beholden to this snafu that's happened. And this snowballs and becomes a bigger and bigger problem, particularly for Daniel's character. And that's how we get into this whole comedy about race.
Well, you and Daniel have such a wonderful chemistry. I saw the show on the 18th.
Oh, great.
And of course, I know that originally started with your New Amsterdam, and now here you are on Broadway. So congratulations on your opening night.
Thank you so much. Happy to be here.
Oh, yeah, sure.
This scares me, and I try to do things that scare me, and it has definitely been a challenge. And so, I've now found the joy.
Congratulations on your Broadway debut in Yellowface. How do you feel?
I feel nothing and everything. I don't know, nothing has caught up with me yet. So everything feels surreal and also in Technicolor.
Mm-hmm. What does it mean for you to be an Asian American creator in this time?
Oh boy. It's important, and I think the thing about this play and the art that Asian Americans are making in general is we're really starting to push. We're really starting to talk about new things, which makes me proud of us.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Come on, I'm an Asian American actor. I've done material of his throughout my career every once in a while. But yeah, definitely.
What does it mean to you to be an Asian American creator in this time?
It's a great time. Our stories are finally coming out, and we're given more fair time than we have been given in the past. And this play is a reflection of the past too, and what we can do in the future. So.
And is this your Broadway debut?
This is my Broadway debut,
Welcome.
so it's so exciting.
Happy.
Thank you.
At first it means basically just getting to be with family, because most of us have known each other, especially the AAPI cast have known each other for about 20 years. And so that's been wonderful. It's like a gigantic homecoming, and there's so much love in this building. And even though I'm standing by, I feel like, especially because of the way Daniel leads his company, we're all a gigantic family, and we're really, really lucky to be having this experience together.
And what does it mean to you to be an Asian American creator in this time?
It's a gigantic responsibility because we are underrepresented. So when we have any kind of representation, it's really important for it to be meaningful and correct and empowering. But I am honored to have the opportunity to even call myself that.
Hi, Miss Marinda.
Hi, Lia. How are you?
I'm fabulous, and I can see you are.
Thank you so much.
Happy opening to you. And is it also your Broadway debut?
It is.
How do you feel?
All the things. I'll start crying in 2 seconds. It's very exciting. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to be making my Broadway debut in this show with this cast, this director, this playwright. It's really a dream come true.
What does Yellowface mean to you, being part of this production?
It means so much on so many different levels. It means a lot to just be a part of a play that's so relevant right now. It speaks so much to me about authenticity and also the truth of who we are in our heart, and seeing people for who they are. So it just has so many different meanings. And it's also, I love that it's a comedy and it's so thoughtful in that way.
Well, you're such a good comedian.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I try. I'm trying to keep up with this cast.
Gorgeous package comedian. Well, happy opening to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Really surprised and thoroughly entertained and excited about what I am doing and shocked and all the good stuff.
Well, everybody's turning on a dime in this show.
Right.
So congratulations. Happy opening.
Thank
you. Kevin, it is so much fun to see you in a completely different role. What does it feel like to be back on Broadway after the success of Some Like It Hot?
I had a great time in Some Like It Hot, and I agree with you. This is kind of like completely different for me. It's a play. I play a bunch of different kinds of characters, and it's a delight. I'm having a fabulous time. So love it.
So much fun. Good to see you.
Great to see you.
Thank you. Have a good opening.
Thank you.
Happy opening to you.
Thank you, Lia Chang, the best in the biz.
You know how much you make. I love that you make me laugh.
Oh, I appreciate that. I love making you laugh.
What is it like to be with Yellowface?
It's amazing. I mean, I'm understudying the divine Kevin and Marinda, and it's 25 parts each, so like 50 different people I get to investigate and learn. And so we're having a lot of fun, and I love watching them, and the show's great, and I love David Henry Hwang and Leigh, and it's just a pleasure.
Consistently turning on a dime.
That's right. That's my shtick.
Happy opening.
Thank you, Leah.
We did years and years ago, we did a workshop of this at Stanford, and I was part of it way back then with Leigh and David and Francis, and so it means a lot to be back working on it. It was a total surprise, came out of nowhere.
So fabulous.
Yeah, I would describe it as a comedy about the stew of the various identities that we all live with and through at this time.
Hey, Blitzen, did you have fun today? Yeah? Do you think Kathy did a really good job? Yeah? No, do you have notes, though, for her? Okay. No, I don't have any notes for her. I thought she was brilliant.
I'm sitting here with Alan Maroka, and I've just seen The Nice List. Tell me about The Nice List.
All right, well, The Nice List is a holiday musical set at the North Pole, and the two leads are two female elves who are sort of like the yin and yang of each other. One is sort of grumpy, one is not. So it's the whole play on like everyone's a little bit naughty, everyone's a little bit nice, and that's what we discover through the show. And the nice list, the list itself, is sort of the catalyst that makes us discover, in reality, we're all a little of both.
So The Nice List first was born in 2020.
In 2020, during the pandemic, that's right. We created a Zoom musical of it.
And the book and lyrics are by?
The music is by Gary Adler, and the book and lyrics are by Phoebe Kreutz, who I've worked with for the last 15 years on different projects.
Right, and it was so successful, born during the pandemic and running during the pandemic. I remember it kept getting extended as far as being shown on air, right?
because it was a fundraiser, and so then it was very popular, so we kept running it. The cast was on Entertainment Tonight because they had heard about it, and so we did a little thing on Entertainment Tonight. And then ultimately what happened was, post-pandemic, we're like, well, this is such a great little idea for a musical. So for our next steps, we were like, what should we do? And we decided, this would make a great animated special. And so we hooked up with a producer, and we started pitching it around. And then the strike happened, and then budgets kind of went away.
Yeah.
And so we're still in the process of that. But when that strike happened, we realized, well, what world are we all in? We're in the theater world, and this would make a great theatrical piece. And so we then started to create a theatrical version of this. And now you would think we could just take that Zoom musical and just fill it in. It's a whole different world. And so even from the animated to the film, we've have now 3 different versions of the show because we're sort of gearing it for the medium that we're aiming at.
So the last time we spoke, you had just won your 2nd Emmy Award.
Oh my gosh, that was the last time.
For Sesame
Yes.
Street, directing for Sesame Street with you have a lot of other collaborators.
A lot of other collaborators.
In that camp. But you were also getting ready to have a number of summer adventures.
I went to Chicago there was a theater company called Token Theater Company, Asian American run theater company, that was producing an all Asian American gay comedy, and which I can't think of one that we have in our sort of canon. And so it was the world premiere of a play called Zac Efron, and it was sort of to the roots. It's a brand new theater company, not a big budget. We were all doing it for the love of theater. We were able to, because we have friends of friends who are on the board of this theater called Red Orchid, which is the actor Michael Shannon runs in Chicago. And so we were able to get their space. We used some of their designers. But everybody sort of just pitched in, and it turned out to be this really beautiful. People thought it was great. We got love letters across the board from all of the major critics. And we ran for almost 4 weeks, and it turned out very well. It was very well received.
So at the same time that you were putting this up on its feet, you were also getting your cast ready to go to Edinburgh, the Edinburgh Fringe Festival with Kafka, the musical.
So I had another show that then we rehearsed it in Syracuse because the composer and the lyricist are professors at a college up in Syracuse. And so we took our cast up there and we rehearsed it there. And that was right after Chicago. And then we took it to Edinburgh at the beginning of August. And it was, once again, really, knock on wood, it was very well received, got beautiful reviews, and
it was sold out.
And it sold out in its time there at Edinburgh Fringe. And I don't know if you've ever been to the Fringe. It is unlike anything. I would tell everybody if you have some time in August to go to Edinburgh, it's worth going because there's theater happening from all over the world, and it was some ridiculous amount of shows that were up.
It's insane.
Yeah,
I don't know how they manage it.
Yeah.
But they've been doing it for years.
And part of how they manage is that every show has to be fit in this 55-minute time frame. You have 10 minutes to load in your show and then 10 minutes to load out the show.
Right.
So every hour and a half there's something going up in your venue.
Oh my God.
So it was crazy, but a really good kind of crazy that again reminded me of when I just started theater and you were doing it for the love. And and our cast had a great time.
And I understand there could be possibly another life.
We have some interest in taking it forward to possibly a run in London somewhere. Yeah, just we're at the beginning stages, and I don't want to jinx it, but yeah, it was very well received, and we've had nibbles from some people in order to move that to the next.
Well, that's really exciting. We'll just keep our fingers and toes crossed for that. Now, the next place you're going is to Olney.
Yes, so I'm going to Olney, Maryland.
Your home away from home.
My home away from home. This is my third show at Olney Theater Center. And I am directing Frozen, Disney's Frozen.
And for a Disney boy,
yes.
You're in seventh heaven.
It's great, yeah. No, I started my career with Disney. I was a performer at both Disney World and Disneyland when I was in my teens in college. And so they gave me sort of my professional start. And then I was in Aladdin on Broadway. So this is just sort of a nice way to sort of to continue my Disney collaboration.
So the nice list: Christmas, Frozen.
Holiday-ish, right? Yeah. So yes, and it's running through the holidays as well. So it is a nice little sort of
Well, thanks, Alan.
Of course.
I'm so glad you had a hot minute. Thank you for joining me for this edition of Backstage Pass with Lia Chang. Until next time.
Bye.